lads and lasses, or bottom of the night, whichever the case may be. A happy St. Paddy's Day to ye from Lundarigirl. That be myself. Today, we'll be taking a look at Elektra, a film based on the Marvel character created by comic book writer and artist Frank Miller, who's done some movie directing on the side. This film had a potential for great epicness, but it turned out as entertaining as my Irish accent is genuine. But on the bright side, it's not nearly as horrific and idiotic as Frank Miller's leprechaun vomit of a film, The Spirit. So grab yourself a mug of shamrock shake, which doesn't taste anything like shamrocks for some reason, as we celebrate this holiday that honors everything Irish and green by watching a movie about a Greek woman who wields Japanese weapons and wears red.
So in other words, it has absolutely nothing to do with Ireland or green.
Shut up!
I'll spare your ears any more of my fake Irish and give you some backstory on the beautiful and deadly Elektra Nachios before I rip her movie a new one. I've only read a few Elektra comics. Most of my knowledge about her comes from the internet. Elektra, the daughter of a Greek diplomat, was already a skilled martial artist when she met and fell in love with Matt Murdock, who would later become the masked vigilante Daredevil. Her father was shot to death right in front of her, and she became bitter and angry at the world. She became an assassin for an evil mystical ninja sect called the Hand, but eventually she broke away from them and became a freelance assassin. She would run into Daredevil occasionally. Sometimes they worked together to bring down a bad guy. Other times she'd have to fight her former boyfriend to get at a target. Eventually she was killed by psychopath assassin Bullseye, but death never keeps a comic book hero down for long. Elektra was soon resurrected by a member of the Chast, the good version of the Hand, and she returned to her assassin lifestyle. She is one of Marvel Universe's fiercest ninjas, and she has mind control powers. You end up on this girl's hit list, you can count on meeting your maker very soon. Like Catwoman, Elektra isn't purely good or evil. At times she can be cold and merciless, but she also has a compassionate and honorable streak. She's a hero when it suits her, and a villain when she thinks it's worth the payoff. She seems to accept her dark nature because she feels she can't escape it. She does what she does because she feels she cannot change, and there are times when she deeply regrets her actions. My introduction to this fascinating and complex warrior was 2003's Daredevil. It's not the best superhero movie, but it's good. It's got an awesome soundtrack, a great plot, lots of action, lots of good character development, and great acting. I especially loved Jennifer Garner's Elektra, so of course I was excited when I heard she was getting her own movie in 2005. And when I heard it was going to be partially based on the novel Elektra and Wolverine the Redeemer, I was like, oh yeah, this movie's gonna rock. The Redeemer, written by Greg Rucka and illustrated by Yoshitaka Anmano, is the fabulous tale of Wolverine and Elektra teaming up to protect a genetically enhanced girl from the agent who wants to make her a pawn of the government.
With a great character and great plot, how could 20th Century Fox mess this up? Just how? My guess is that they realized that their contract with Garner to make a Daredevil spinoff was set to expire, so they hired a bunch of writers to throw a story together so they could make a quick 100 mil off of people wanting to see her kick butt in red leather.
So, what has our psi-wielding senorita been up to since her untimely death in Daredevil? Well, obviously she's been brought back to life. She's received some fight training from blind martial arts master Stick, played by Terrence Stamp. She's been kicked out of his order, the Chast, for having too much anger. And then she becomes an assassin, and quickly earns a reputation for being ruthless. Her new boss wants her to hang out at this rental house on some remote island for a few days before he sends her the info on her latest targets. Kinda odd, but hey, the job pays well, and the view is nice. Alright, we got tense background music. That usually means something important and exciting is going to happen. Let's see, she's unpacking her stuff, arranging stuff into orderly patterns, and that's pretty much it. What's the point of all this? Well, it turns out that Elektra has obsessive-compulsive disorder, which has no bearing on the plot. So why devote so much time establishing that fact? We also get a training montage that serves no purpose, and pointless flashbacks of Elektra with her parents when she was a little girl. First, her father pushes her to try harder at swimming, and then she finds her mother's corpse after she was just murdered. I think the point of these flashbacks was to show that Elektra was close to her parents and that she is still grieving over their deaths. But if that is so, then shouldn't we see more lovey-dovey stuff? Things like little Elektra hugging her parents, or playing with them, or maybe training with them? You know, things to show the audience how close they were. Anyway, just as Elektra is about to go stir-crazy and the audience is about to fall asleep, she meets her neighbors, a spunky kid named Abby Miller and her dad, Mark. She takes a shine to them almost immediately because Abby reminds her so much of herself as a kid, and Mark, well, he's a nice guy. What more can a ninja ask for? The audience might want a bit more personality from him, but apparently assassins like their guys bland. Soon after, Elektra gets the long-awaited info on her targets, but gosh darn it, it's the Millers! She gets out her trusty bow to do them in, but during a very badly edited scene, she thinks it over and decides to leave them alone. But then some other ninja assassins show up at the Miller's house, only to be easily taken out by Elektra. After they die, their corpses turn into that green mist from Voyage of the Dawn Treader. After that, father, daughter, and ninja go on the run, but Mark finds time to sneak Elektra a quick kiss. Which makes absolutely no sense because these two barely had time to form a friendship, much less a romance. The bad ninjas, it turns out, were sent by the Hand. They are seeking the treasure. A warrior woman prophesies to tip the balance of power between good and evil in favor of whichever side controls her. The Hand believe that that treasure is Abby, and they want to capture her for themselves or kill her so that the good guys can't have her. They're led by a guy named Master Roshi. No, not that Master Roshi. That Master Roshi. This Roshi is nothing more than a talking cardboard cutout. The same can be said of the entire Hand. None of them have any personality or much of a backstory. None of them are interesting. Roshi's son, Kirigi, volunteers to go after Abby with his band of warriors. One of these henchmen has the mystical power to make his many, many tattoos come to life. Okay, that looks just freaky. Elektra takes on one of the henchmen in an anticlimactic fight that is high on special effects, but disappointingly low on punches and kicks. To her surprise, Abby holds her own against another henchman in an equally anti-spectacular fight. The rest of the assassins hightail it as Stick and the Chast show up. At the Chast place, Stick explains to Elektra that Abby will never have a normal life as long as Kirigi is alive and chasing her. He seems to have forgotten about the rest of the Hand, who will no doubt keep trying to get Abby even if Kirigi dies. Elektra challenges Kirigi to a one-on-one smackdown. Winner gets Abby. Will Elektra triumph? Will the final fight actually have some good action? And more importantly, how long until the credits roll? This movie has some good stuff. One, The final battle is okay, nothing spectacular, but much better than any of Elektra's other actionless battles. 2. Garner and the actors who play the Millers do a good job, considering they have such a bad script to work with. The actors who play Stick, Roshi, and Kirigi deliver bland performances, but I can't tell if it's their fault or the fault of the director. 3. Abby and Elektra share some tender moments that serve as great character development for both of them. I could go on and on about why this film is horrible, but I've decided to try something a little different. I am going to sing a song about how bad this movie is. You know that song Will Ferrell and Jack Black sang at the Oscars in 2004? Well, here's the Elektra version of it.
The story's rushed, the characters are flat, so boring. Half the cast can't seem to act, I'm snoring. The villains aren't a threat at all, they die easily. There's no suspense, the romance is forced, the effects are measly. The action scenes lack excitement, they're all wires and bed sheets. Give me back my $20 so I can get some burritos at Taco Bell. Taco Bell, Taco Bell, Taco Bell. Shut up! Bottom line, this movie sucks sauerkraut. Of the 3 comic book superhero movies I've reviewed, this one is the worst, though not by much. Catwoman had better acting. Supergirl had even better acting and some enjoyable scenes. But all 3 of these movies are mind-numbingly boring, and I am glad to be done with it. Now, what am I gonna watch for my next review? After 3 straight stinkers, I want something entertaining, something funny. I know, Bill Cosby's always funny, and I haven't watched any of his movies yet. Well, now I have the perfect excuse. Alright, just type in Bill Cosby movies on Google and... Leonard Part 6. Never heard of that one before. But it says here that Cosby produced and wrote the movie as well as starred in it. That means it's gotta be awesome. That settles it. March 31st show is gonna be a review of Leonard Part 6. I can't wait. This is gonna be great. Oh, Bill, why did you have to make such a horrible movie? Why?
But there's one song that nobody wants to hear, the song they play when your acceptance speech has gone on too long. That's the song, that one.
And did you know it actually has lyrics? This is it. Your time is through.
You're boring. You're rambling on, no end in sight.
You're boring.
No need to thank your parakeet. You're boring.
Look at Catherine Zeta-Jones.
She's snoring. You could have rushed up to the stage, but you were lollygagging
And turning off your microphone and casting to a